and welcome to yet another episode of Take 5. Today we have a very special guest with us, Father John Bosco from Indore, India. Thank you so much for joining us today, Father.
Thank you.
So, Father, getting right into it, what brings you to Dubai?
It's a great opportunity for me to come middle of this year. The reason is that last time when I came after my third semester from Chicago, I'm doing bachelor degree graduation in Ministry of Deliverance and Exorcism. I met some of our friends here who are working in the Ministry of Deliverance for the guidance and also some kind of input section. I met them. Midst time they asked me, Father, there is opportunity, would like to join. And I asked about whatever the finance. They said, we will take care of you, come. Then I told them, I will consult my bishop. Bishop permitted, so they asked me to join with a group. We are more than 250 pilgrimage going to attend Golden Jubilee of Charismatic Renewal in the Catholic Church. So that's how I'm here.
So what people don't know is that you're going to be full-time exorcism ministry.
Yes.
So how did you venture into exorcism? How did you start? How did it all start for you?
I have my childhood experience. I trace back how many people are. Now they ask me, how did you come into this realm? So when I was a fourth standard boy, it happened so near my house. One person was shouting, devil has come, devil has come. So immediately I rushed, took the rosary and told my mom, I'm going to cast out that devil. So mom was very reluctant and she followed behind me. I went direct to the house and to the person. I showed the rosary like that. Then that man said, oh, it is gone. It's where it is. That particular place is. So I went and placed my rosary and I came back. There are other times also in my life there are ways. Then as well aspiring to become a priest, that was my earnest desire to take up this vocation to be priest. And what exactly Jesus did in his ministry to take up. So that was my preaching, healing, delivering, miracles, all that. So that kind of aspiration I took in my priesthood. That's how I ventured into. And the early stage of my priesthood was in the education line and pastoral line. Then after 10 years of my priesthood, I just shifted, went for 40 days of retreat and 40 days of fasting. Then I completely changed. After that, I went to study psychological counseling in Bangalore University. After that, ministry quite different. Though I was teaching in the seminary and parishes, helping them out. Then gradually, last 7 years, I am full-fledged working in this ministry, full-time minister, in the healing, deliverance, and exorcism.
Right.
And partially, I'm also doing my studies.
Father, before we get into the next question, I just wanted to ask you, how is it that people get possessed? What leads up to the possession of the soul?
I would first say the weakness of the person. Maybe weakness in psychology, intellectual, ritual, and biology. Psychologically, hatred, anger, scolding, gossiping, criticizing. So this kind of psychological. Ritual sickness, we call it unforgiveness, no prayer life, laziness in prayer, towards relationship with the family members, following the commandments, not following the commandments, or these are ritual weaknesses. And also involvement, like for example, intellectually, they think more of oneself, ego, selfish, appreciation to their own performance, name, fame, money. So they take it more of this type of things, giving priority in their personal life. So these are the nature of satanic group, realm. So naturally, when they get the space to get inside, with the weakness, so they get through this weakness. Above all, if they involve with any persons who are already in satanic activities, like occult, satanism, idol worship, black magic, sorcery. So this type of any attribute to the evil, attribute to the negativity, attribute to the satanic power, they are involved, or they are with those associations in the groups or in that house, it can also affect. And people are psychologically affected more closeness with the family members, like departed souls. If they are, son is attached to the mother, after mother's death, he becomes very, thinks about her. This also generally the way of Satan gets inside. And this easily can also, their normal life becomes quite different. The person is like, face cut also becomes dry. And they become, in life they won't be more active, they will, very lazy, no interest to do anything. So these are minor symptoms that we can able. Major it adds to where they cannot able to do anything. They're closed up in the room, and they don't go out, no eating. So that kind of major areas where these people are, we can able to identify that they are. There are also many other ways also spiritually asking for. And psychological, these are 4 areas where we can able to find the person is not in the right direction. So then we spiritually help them to come out of it. It is not, we cannot, there are different degrees are there. And the possession, obsession, temptation. So there are different areas are there. And the degree, like we call it 100%, 10%. So that kind of also movements are there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are the preventive measures for the youth for today to counter-attack something like this is happening to them?
You see, I find it in my ministry, in practically, this is the latest to develop techniques and technology of evil spirit. And their technology and techniques, we human being may not that much, if you're spiritually not strong, then we may not able to understand in what way they are trying to. Like for example, tattoos. The Bible clearly says in Old Testament, tattoos, impurity of body like. Now, impurity of body comes, hairstyle. Now these days they are cutting in different hairstyles. And fashion, coloring of the hair, using things on the hands. What is, the people go for more of costume, the makeup, so many things like, even fashion, like dress different ways, like should not say, exposing their body very closely, which attracts men and women in different ways. And they're also, they go behind these witchcraft doctors to get some favors, immediate result. When they lack a prayer life, so these are also certain areas where this youth is more attracted to that. And nowadays coming up with metal music and things, even t-shirts when they use certain pictures and certain words, which is not of their own religion. Disobedience of irresponsible their youthfulness, and disobedient to the parents and elders, to the church, the religion in which they go on, and involvement more in electronic things like iPad, mobile, net, and going to the wrong websites. So these are areas where they can easily attract it. And remedy for this is, I would say, have a spiritual father, people who can able to guide you, involve in more prayer, and occupy yourself completely where you can positively grow other than this involvement with wrong people, wrong things. Make use of your time for the glory of God, for betterment of your future, and also give respect to the elders. So unnecessary, I would feel what God has, we all come naked to this world and naked we'll be going. What is necessary for on our body, and what is necessary that we are putting on the body should be blessed.
So, what is your journey after this? What is your next step?
Future is in the God's hand, but hopefully, because from my experience, completely dedicating my life and my priesthood for this service, saving the souls, God has blessed me recently. We got a group of sisters coming into the ministry to help out ministry of healing and delivering exorcism. And near future, we may get some more priests to help us out. And when the crowds start coming, and we also look for a residence place for them. Now we are operating like outpatients, OPD. So we may keep ICU next. So we'll keep them in a residential place, maybe a retreat center, which we may call it Yesu Bhavan.
So thank you so much, Father, for joining us today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. So until next week, that's all we have for you from Take 5. Bye.